Today's true story from the Bible comes from 1 Samuel chapter 20. God had used judges to lead the Israelites, but they demanded a king. Samuel anointed Saul as the first king of Israel, but soon after, Saul disobeyed the Lord. God told Saul that he would lose the throne. God sent Samuel to anoint a shepherd boy by the name of David to be the next king. David killed a great giant and saved the Israelite army. Afterwards, he became famous in Israel, and Saul brought him to live in his home. Saul's son Jonathan and David became best friends. As the son of the king, Jonathan should be the next king. But Jonathan understood that God's plan was for David to be king. David made a covenant with Jonathan, promising to always protect his family. As time went on, Saul grew very jealous of David. One day, David was playing the harp horn when Saul became angry and hurled his spear at David. Thankfully, David managed to move out of the way and he was not harmed. Jonathan talked to his father and told him that David was not a danger to him. Saul promised not to hurt him, but the very next time David was playing the harp, Saul threw his spear at David again. This time, David escaped and left the house. So the friends made a plan to find out how Saul really felt. David would hide in the field during an important dinner. If Saul got very upset that he wasn't there, Jonathan would see that he actually wanted to hurt David. Jonathan would come back and have a servant shoot arrows into the field. If he said, "The arrows are farther ahead of you," David would know he was in danger. At the meal, Saul became extremely angry when he saw David was missing. He yelled at Jonathan, "Don't you know that as long as David is alive, you can never be king?" This time, Saul threw his spear at Jonathan. Jonathan went to the field, just as he promised. He had the boy with him shoot arrows, and he yelled, "The arrows are farther ahead of you," signaling to David to escape. Jonathan put God's plan first and protected David, even though that meant he would never be king. David escaped from Saul and eventually became the rightful king of Israel, just as God had promised. Not only was David the king of Israel, but God promised him that the throne would always belong to his family. Later, one of David's descendants would be the forever king who would always be on the throne. That descendant was Jesus.